Everybody, Hair here, and yes, this is a video on how your Sacramento Kings can land superstar guard Zach Lavine. Realistically, yes, I know you're thinking already, this guy's crazy, you're another delusional Kings fan. How in the world, in what way, in what multiverse will Zach Lavine go to the Sacramento Kings? I'll tell you, and it isn't a realistic way. So, I know you're already telling me, he's unrestricted. He's an unrestricted free agent. He can go anywhere he wants. Why would he go to the Sacramento Kings? How can that even be realistic? I will explain that to you. Now let me tell you, other Kings fans, and myself, to me, landing Zach Lavine would be the best offseason of all time for me. And Zach Lavine's my favorite player, but just a guy of his caliber, his superstardom, Kings tried to sign him before. But to have a trio of De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and Zach Lavine, that gets you at least in the playoffs. It guaranteed. Doesn't matter what else we do with the roster. That gets you in the playoffs. All guys in their 20s. Zach Lavine's late 20s. He's in his prime. This guy does it all. Athletic freak, shoots threes. Obviously, is a great dunker. Superstar. He's a superstar. He's been an all-star too. So let me tell you, how do you get him? Again, you're telling me, Hair, he is unrestricted. Why would he go to the Sacramento Kings? Team that hasn't made the playoffs in 16 years, hasn't won a title since the 50s. How does Zach Lavine get to the Kings? I'll tell you. So he's unrestricted. So that means, yes, he can sign anywhere, right? Yes, that's 100% true. Now, being that he's been with the Bulls have an advantage over every other team in the NBA. Sure, Zach Lavine can sign anywhere tomorrow. He can go to the Lakers. He can go to the Celtics. He can go to the Warriors. He can go to any team he wants. Now, the thing that the Bulls own over him is every other team, including the Kings, can sign him to a 4-year, I believe like 150 some odd million max contract. That's the most they can give him, any other team. The Bulls, however, can offer him a 5-year, $200+ million contract. Only the Bulls can do that because of the bird rights or just whatever the case may be. So the thing that keeps popping up, not just for Kings but everywhere, is sign and trade. And usually you see sign and trade with restricted free agents because they'll sign the extension upon agreeing to a trade. Why would you do it to an unrestricted free agent? Because of that extra 60, 70+ odd million. So Zach Lavine signs the extension, the 5-year, $200+ million extension, but agrees to a sign and trade with the Sacramento Kings. Now, I know your Kings are interested. A lot of teams are interested in Zach Lavine. He's a great two-guard. He's a great, in a positionless basketball team, he could play anything. This guy's incredible. And now, obviously, 1, 2, 3 I'd be comfortable with. I'm not, of course, not a superstar defender, but who is these days? He's an elite scorer, elite athleticism. That three-point shot has gotten better and better. Again, what would it take to get him in a sign and trade? So, of course, best case scenario, you somehow, some way convince him. I've said this in plenty of videos already. You convince him to be in, to just come to the Kings. And of course, come to the Kings, 4-year, $150+ million contract. Hey, LA's a 45-minute flight. You got De'Aaron Fox, you have Sabonis. It's not too bad here. Sure, that in a one in a million chance that ever works. It wouldn't. Let's just be honest. And I love the Kings. Zach Lavine's my favorite player, but that wouldn't happen. So, in any other team, if they enticed him, maybe he wants to go to LA, he wants to go somewhere else, he's losing out on 60, 70+ odd million if he doesn't do the sign-in trade with the Bulls. Why wouldn't Zach Lavine do that? He's, late 20s, in his prime, but this will probably be his last gigantic contract. And he will get that. I know any team would do that for him, especially with the Kings. So, I believe he would do that. He would agree to the sign-in trade with that supermax or whatever it is and not miss out on the extra 50, 60, 70 million dollars that the Bulls can offer him. So they do that. The Bulls give him that contract upon agreeing to the trade. So sign and trade. So yes, he gets that fat contract. Come to the Kings or whoever else. But for me, of course, go to the Kings. Now, what would it take to land someone of Zach Lavine's caliber? The Bulls have a loaded roster. They have the most improved player, I believe it was, DeMar DeRozan. I don't think he's the most improved player, but he won something this year, and he balled out this year, and he's in his 30s. It's crazy. They have a bunch of players like Kobe White's of the world. They have a pretty loaded roster, so of course he'd be going to a worse team than the Kings. But what would it take to land him? At the very least, you're offering your 4th overall pick of this year. That's what I'm honestly thinking. The Bulls are okay. You want this guy? Maybe they want to load off that contract. They want to make room for more stuff. Maybe they want that 4th pick. They still have a great roster. What would it take to get him? At least I believe it's that 4th overall pick. Maybe a future pick. Maybe it only takes 1 pick. I don't know, but I believe it takes this year's 4th overall pick, so they guarantee to get a top 4 guy, and a future pick too. So in 2023, because you can't do 2 consecutive years. But it's up to me. I would do next year's 2023 and then 2025, because so we can keep this year's pick. But if that doesn't happen, take this year's pick. I don't care. Make Zach Lavine, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis happen. That would be incredible. It would be impeccable. You guarantee to make the playoffs in mind, as long as everybody stays healthy. Sign a Mo Bamba, sign something. It doesn't even matter. At that point, you have that trio. You're in the playoffs. That's the way you can get Zach Lavine on the team. Kings should make that happen. Throw whatever else in there not named Sabonis or Fox. Make that trade happen. I believe the Bulls would at least entertain it, listen to it. I don't know if they'll do it, but that's a realistic way you can get Zach Lavine coming to the Kings. Let me know what you think. This is The Hair.